I am the one and only Seth Freakin Rollins, and I am here to break down some of my best in-ring looks.
Presented by Nissin Hot and Spicy Fire Walk, now available in select stores and online. Nissin Hot and Spicy Fire Walk is a super spicy instant ramen meal that is packed with intense, fiery, and authentic flavors. Prepare yourself for full contact flavor with a kick from a blend of chilies and spices.
That one feels good. My first impression, I had two first impressions when I put on the Shield gear. One, oh, this is great. I don't have to shave my legs anymore. And two, this is hot. It was so warm because everything was tucked in, tied in. You know, I was just sweating bullets every single night. So it was like an extra, like it was like a sauna suit you were wearing out there. We, as performers, there's a certain scrutiny that comes with, you know, being in your underwear in front of millions of people all the time, and not having to deal with that scrutiny was kind of nice. It's just iconic. It's just an iconic look. And the mask was sick. We only got one or two of those uses, unfortunately. I mean, the turtleneck was iconic, but I remember immediately going, why are we wearing turtlenecks? That was like the first, the literal first thing is like, okay, by Monday of the next week, we need new look. We gotta go tactical. We gotta do something else. I mean, all three of us, me, Roman, Dean, we were all in agreement. Turtlenecks, back in the closet, and we gotta go full tactical. So we went and kind of did our own reconnaissance, if you will, on new gear for the Shield. The boots were an adjustment, and we had to go through a series of boots to find which one was gonna be the lightest. We had to buy, I wanna say like 2 or 3 different sets we had to go through, because the first ones were given to us. We didn't even know the look. When we came with the turtleneck, the first set of combat boots, they were just given to us. And those were heavy. Those were like, you're trudging through, you know, some forests with those suckers. Those, you do not wanna do anything athletic in those. And so we had to like kind of find some alternatives that were gonna make moving around in the ring a little bit easier. The black and gold, yeah, it was, gosh, I'm trying to think what the inspiration was for the gear itself. I kind of wanted to look like a superhero, you know? I wanted to have like a superhero-esque look. Obviously, I was in villain mode at this time. We had kind of an R&D department for our gear here at the time, and they were putting some things together, and we ended up, I don't even remember how we ended up with the black and gold. I think it just sort of worked. The Money in the Bank briefcase that year was gold that I had won shortly after moving to this gear, and it sort of just fit with the motif, and you know, it's a good combination. The vest was always very difficult to get on and off, though. That was a tough one. I would stick to it trying to get it off. It did match the championship quite well at that time, if I do say so myself. So, I mean, this was a subversion of expectations, right? Most of the people who were familiar with Seth Rollins up until this point had only really seen me in black, right? The Shield gear, when I switched over to regular gear, it was all black, a little silver, a little gold here and there. And I was like, let's just invert it. Let's just go the opposite direction, right? Let's just make a shadow version of the gear. The white and gold obviously got, you know, a lot of Power Ranger comparisons to Tommy, the White Ranger, R.I.P. And it was cool, man. It really, you know, it was one of those things where I knew it was a big moment. The match was seen in itself at a high-profile event like SummerSlam. And so I wanted to do something that would elevate the moment.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
It certainly doesn't.
This is going to be awesome.
History in the making.
How can we use my ring attire to make this feel bigger than it already does, right? And this was kind of my first experience with that. And I think it set the tone really for what the future is going to look like for me and my gear.
Yeah, I'm sad. New Day also decided.
I did actually see
They did
that.
decide that this color scheme.
You actually look like their Messiah.
Oh well. Man, I kind of have the Jesus vibe going on. Yeah. All right, I'll take it.
No, I don't really remember backstage what the reaction was. I think it was one of those where the day was such a blur that I really only remember the match, and then I remember like little bits, you know, some flashes.
Rollins has made history.
There it is. Speaking of the Messiah, there's the Monday Night Messiah. Yeah, I mean, this gear is an obvious, well, should we call it homage or troll job? I'm not entirely sure. Obviously here was wrestling Dominic Mysterio in his very first match in WWE, and this is an homage to Rey Mysterio and an incredible gear that he wore Halloween Havoc 97 in a classic with the late great Eddie Guerrero. You know, Rey was obviously ringside for that match with Dom. It was a nice kind of, like I said, a dual homage and troll job, and again set the stage for future troll jobs that I may or may not have participated in. I mean, Rey absolutely was an inspiration for ring gear because he was someone who used to do that as well. He would have themed ring gear for years before I got to WWE, and when I talk about elevating the moment, he was one of the guys who used his ring gear to do that. So anytime you knew Rey Mysterio was going to have a big match or on a pay-per-view or something along those lines, you were kind of like anticipating what his gear might be. And I think, you know, when you look back at WrestleMania, obviously a lot of guys would do that. I remember Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 8. Hoosier Dome, Indiana, and Macho had this beautiful gold gear, and I remember it stuck out to me. I actually modeled a pair of gear after that set that I was like, ooh, that's so beautiful, I want to do that at some point. So when it makes sense, we'll do it, and we did it. You know, you take inspiration from the past and you try to make it your own, but it's absolutely the case where people who've paved the way for this type of pageantry is what inspired me as a performer. Orlando, Florida, the Kingslayer. Little ode to Jamie Lannister. Obviously, this one is situational. I was wrestling Triple H, who is King of Kings. Shockingly, Kingslayer was not trademarked, so we were able to snatch that boy up. I mean, I just love Game of Thrones, one of my favorite all-time shows, and it just fit perfectly with the story we were trying to tell. All the sense in the world. I love gold, obviously. As you can see throughout the years, I've tapped into the gold market quite heavily, and this one was a nice gold. Really, really well done. Great details. I love this one. I thought it was really cool. Really, really cool. I think when you go out there, you're listening for that response and that, oh, look at music, look at that, oh, it's a Kingslayer. You know, you kind of like, you're hearing the whispers or like the vibe, I think.
That man there, Seth Rollins, refers to himself as the Kingslayer, and that's what he hopes to do tonight. Take out the King of Kings, the game Triple H.
And if you go out with a dud, that can be deflating. And so I think, knock on wood, I've not had a lot of duds in my gear game over the years. Great picture of me taking down the great one. Obviously, night one, tag team match, myself, Cody Rhodes. We wanted to have something that put us together as a team, but obviously my style and Cody's style, not the same. So we wanted to give it a little Seth Rollins, but a little American Nightmare as well. And so I think if you saw us together, you could tell we were on the same side, but we're two totally different people. I mean, the robe is off the charts in this one. I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, you can't, like, I don't even know how to describe that thing. It would work on any runway across the globe. It's beautiful. And then, you know, I want to give a shout to my people at Tier Sports. They do great shoes, and they do all my shoes for me. And so you can see the blue and gold, like, kind of hit the shoes perfectly there to match the gear. I mean, it's the synergy is very nice there. I have a wonderful team that does all these things. You can get a good shot of that, like, kind of hybrid Seth Rollins signet with the Nightmare wings on the side. I mean, the details on this one are beautiful. And then you go to the Mummers gear. The Mummers gear, man. What an entrance. It was presented to me maybe a few months in advance. I'd never heard of the Mummers. I am not from Philly. I'm not associated with that city in any way, but the Mummers are like a staple of the city of Philadelphia, and they have the Mummers Parade every year, and I saw the video of what these people look like, and I was like, oh, we gotta do this. We got to. I'm perfect for this. If I'm not doing it, somebody else has got to do it, but there's really nobody else that's gonna, do this. So we got the robe done. We got to wear one of their robes they had made for us. I got to wear the brother's wizard hat, which was fantastic. And then the gear, we did some flare legs, something a little bit different. I rocked some Fear of God shoes that all the kids like. I don't know nothing about sneakers, but they got the job done. They kind of fit in, and the entrance was just beautiful. Everything about it was great. A team effort, but extremely well done. I love this one. Love it. In this new era of Seth Freakin Rollins, there is nothing that's off the table. And I've told, my people that many times. They say, oh, I got this idea. I'm saying, great, go for it. Let's see what you got. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic. Dusty was a mentor of mine, someone that really helped me when I got down to developmental, someone that really believed in me, someone I had a lot of love for. I knew Dusty as a kid. I knew Dusty as, the guy in the polka dots. I didn't know nothing about the real American dream. I learned that as I grew up and started to study the business a little bit more. I didn't know nothing about hard times.
That's hard time. That's hard time.
So the polka dots was kind of cool. It was a little ode to Dusty and Sapphire, and obviously continues my trend of trolling my opponents with some gear. And so this one was to really get under Cody's skin.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Might have worked against me, though. I think it might have inspired him. He came out on top in this particular match. Still, this is an all-timer for sure. Yeah, so the original concept for the gear was Tron. I just thought the futuristic vibe of it looked pretty cool. We hadn't done anything with green, like a neon green at all, so for some reason that came to my head. I don't know why, I gave it to Sarat, he put it together. Little did I know that it would come in handy all these years later.
Seth Rollins is wearing the exact ring vest that he wore at SummerSlam that fateful night 7 years ago.
Another little troll job of mine. This was never planned, right? I wasn't looking into the future thinking I would ever use this gear or this vest or anything like this ever again. But I keep all of my stuff. I keep all of my gear, or it's kept somewhere for me, either way. And during the story, again, this is one of those situations I mentioned a couple times where how can we elevate the moment? And I love the pink gear with the lace and the green and orange. It's really cool. The shoes hit the spot again. It felt very summery, right? We're at SummerSlam here. It felt very big. And, myself and Finn have a history, and that gear was a specific part of our history. And so it was nice to be able to go back into the closet, pull it out, and again, a little troll job for old time's sake.
Extreme Rules against Matt Riddle and Elijah, obviously, too. I think one of your favorites.
Yeah, man. RVD, Rob Van Dam. We're in Philly. Sometimes I'll do particular tributes to these types of shows. Matt and I had a really personal story going on, and we were doing this kind of Extreme Rules pay-per-view in Philadelphia. Obviously, Extreme Philadelphia, ECW comes to mind, and there were some iconic characters in ECW, but my favorite of all time was RVD. I loved him. I do the frog splash because he did the frog splash. I do it the way he did it. I'll never be able to do it as good as Rob, but You know, the gear was always cool. Rob always had cool, like, hand-designed gear. Even the way I did my wrists, I normally don't tape my fists like that, but that's how Rob did it, so I wanted to do it. And then obviously you take the ideas and then you turn them into how they work for you. And so we had the vest that I could take off and wrestle in the tights, and it was a pretty cool look. Even had my hair tied up like him that night, which I don't normally do it that way. Yeah, I mean, this gear is just sick. You know, it's one of those things where, like, I couldn't have imagined this, right? This is just, you tell me leopard print and turquoise. I go, huh? What? That doesn't sound right. Like, so many times I've just taken my hands off the wheels because I'm not the guy. I'm not the fashion forward one. I can't imagine these types of things. When you put a beautiful team around you, my stylist, Troy, my gear guy, Sarat, Jolene with the kick pads, they are the dream team, because sometimes even conceptually I can't understand how these things are going to work. But this one is obviously a big night. You know, we're debuting a new championship, and you want to have something that's going to be remembered. There's going to be a lot of images of this night and video replayed, you know, first ever World Heavyweight Champion. And they brought this idea to life. Troy with the jacket and these giant puffy shoulders. I mean, it fits together so well. You look at all these little crystals Sarat put on this gear. I mean, it's a thing of beauty. This is probably one of my favorites for sure. The big jackets I dump to archives here at WWE, so I don't ever get rid of any of them, just in case they need them to display them anywhere. Like, I think this gear they've actually put on display specifically somewhere. But yeah, the jackets are too much. I have no space for half of my clothes as it is, so to add the jackets to that would be a disaster. Yeah, the Night King. The Night King. This is, I think, my favorite one. The team in graphics and design did a really great job with the entrance. You can kind of see it in the back there. You felt like you were watching some reincarnation of the Night King. You know, it just felt right. And it's funny because as a gear, it's quite basic. You know, it's just gray, but the details, right? The dark gray versus the light gray. You've got kind of like the patterns that look like fencing, the mesh, you know, the blue contacts are sick. I initially wanted blue fire for my entrance because if you remember correctly, the dragon, the night dragon, I guess you would call him, he had blue fire, but that got nixed for no good reason. But a nice little Easter egg there, and I just loved this gear. I just love the vibe. You know, I want people to be inspired by the outfits. I want the outfits to make them feel a certain way, you know? Like when I first came out in the polka dots, there had to have been a feeling that you got, you know? And I want to use my style to make people feel, because that's like this element of storytelling that, you know, people just haven't really touched on. And I think, why not, right? Like, we gotta use every element at our disposal to create these emotions that are going to help us elevate stories and make stuff last forever. When you go out there and you find something special and you find something that works, it's a lot of fun to be able to build that with your audience. They're the ones that tell you if you're right or wrong. They're the ones that tell you if you're good or bad. And so when you go out and you have an idea and there's this validation from your audience that they enjoy what you're doing and they want more of it, that's an exciting feeling. The minute you see even just the style of gear will take you to that place and make you think of that person or that moment or how you felt in that moment. And so I think that's one of the special things about my gear that kind of puts it in a different space than other people. You know, you just get this, you know, when you see it, oh, that's that Seth Rollins. Oh, that was the Monday Night Messiah. Oh, that was the Visionary. Oh, that was the Shield. It puts you in these spaces and allows you to connect with me in a different level. And that's a fun experience to have with my fans.